Well, g'day, folks. How you going? I don't put a lot of videos up on my YouTube channel much anymore. Mostly because you can go on YouTube and see literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands of videos just like this one, with a camera pointing out over the bonnet. Americans call it a hood. And you know, one bit of road's much the same as another bit of road, I guess, a lot of the time. But I thought I might today, just for a bit of a change. For those people in other parts of the world, yes, we do sit on the right-hand side of the motor vehicle and we drive on the left-hand lane. This here that we're on at the moment is a major intercapital highway, I guess equivalent of an American interstate, except it's not divided, as you can see. This road here basically goes from the east in New South Wales, clear across the country to South Australia, and from there you can go on to Western Australia, and you know, probably a distance of well, say if you left from Sydney and you went to Adelaide, that's probably a distance of I don't know, 1,500 miles maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I know how long it takes, but I don't know quite what the kilometres and miles and all of that caper is, because I don't focus on it terribly much. Anyway, we're just starting to emerge out of winter, which is our traditionally when we get our rain around here. And we did get some rain this winter, in fact quite good rain. We're emerging out of a significant drought. One would have to say we probably have emerged from the significant drought. But time will tell whether it's going to stay that way. They're still forecasting it's going to be a dry year, last I heard. But those forecasts were blown out of the water here half a dozen times already this year. The farmers are probably going to do all right. Probably have some sort of a crop this year, but it will depend from now until November. Our harvest is in this area is in November. The crops could do with a bit of a drink, probably next week, and then you know, maybe a month or so later, another bit of a drink just to finish them off. We do not want any rain during harvest at all. So anyway, I thought I'd do a little bit of through the windscreen footage here today, because still fairly flat country out here, but it's a pretty drive. That bird, I don't know if the camera picked it up, the one that almost decided to commit suicide. was what we call a galah. G-A-L-A-H, galah. They're a bloody pest, to be honest. They'll eat anything, they'll chew anything. Around grain sites and that, they'll chew wires off. They'll do, they're noisy, very gregarious, and they congregate in their millions. So this here currently is called the Sturt Highway. And the town behind me is Narrandera. And the town in front of me in a while is called Wagga Wagga. I better repronounce that for you, Wagga Wagga. People from overseas see it written and they think it's Wagga Wagga, but it's not, it's Wagga Wagga. W-A-G-G-A, next word, W-A-G-G-A, Wagga Wagga. I believe it means the meeting place of the crows or something similar in the local Koori language, which I don't speak, so I can't attest to the veracity of that. Geez, it's not often you see that, single trailer. Again, I don't know how much the camera is picking up. That there's a good looking crop on the left hand side there and just in front. So it might be a fair year, hopefully. Oh, a couple of potholes there. I'm going to Wagga Wagga now to pick up a load, and from thence I will head southward, young man. There's not an awful lot out here, as you can see. There's a couple of little villages here and there. You know, population of 2, that sort of thing. But from Narrandera, which has probably got a population of around about 15 or 20,000 people, to Wagga Wagga, which is an hour away from Narrandera, and that's a much larger town. When I lived there many years ago, it was 50,000, but I would suggest it'd probably be well over 70,000 now, maybe even larger. Sorry about that, I had to have a bit of a cough. So I muted it. Anyway, so I'm guessing Wagga's probably got a population of about 70,000 people now, maybe a bit more. And in between there's a couple of little villages, and that's about it. We're going to come up to one directly called Sandigo. And as you will see directly, it is an enormous metropolis. So big that even the little shop that used to be there no longer trades. It's still a residence, but it's not a shop. There's a telephone exchange. We just went past on the right hand side. And coming up here is a bush hall. I'm pretty sure I went to a Fanny Lumsden turnout at bush hall here at Sandigo. So there's the bush hall we went past a minute ago. And there's a rest area, and that was Sandigo. You'll see off to the right-hand side, perhaps, in the camera, what you people call a field, we call a paddock, with yellow stuff in it. It's canola. On the left-hand side, that'll be wheat, which looks like it's struggling a bit. It can do with a good drink. And then that was canola on the right, which we're just about out of that there now. Now off to the left-hand side, out of view, but only about 3 or 4 mile away, is the Murrumbidgee River. The Murrumbidgee River basically rises in the Great Dividing Range on the east, or in the east, and travels clear across the country, joining in with various other rivers like the Darling and the Murray and a whole heap others, and they all kind of join in together right across the other side of the country in South Australia. I really don't know what else to tell you, so I'm probably going to pull this up in a minute. Just thought I'd do a bit of a video of this. I think it's a pretty little drive. I don't head across here a real lot these days. Mostly I'm further out in the west, and I tend to go north and south more than east. What we're having approaching us now is a very, 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 very common combination here in Australia. It's called a B-double. That one there is an aerodynamic or an Aerodyne Kenworth, cab over Kenworth, and they've got 2 trailers, one a little. Actually, the trailers themselves, the lengths are the same, but because there's a 5th wheel on the back of the front trailer, the actual cargo area is reduced a little bit to accommodate the turntable or the 5th wheel. And depending on the road, it does vary a little bit with the road, but they're legal up to about 68,500 kilograms or whatever the hell that is in pounds for those that are overseas, well, particularly in America, because the rest of the world has all been converted to metric a long time ago. Now the canola crop coming up here on the right. See the yellow flowers? They'll all die off, and I'll cut it and lay on the ground for a while, and I'll pick it up with special machines, and it goes in and they squeeze it and they get oil out of it, which goes into things like margarine and various other things, I believe. Alrighty, that will do for now, I think. As you see, the levels of traffic are relatively minimal, and that's not just because of COVID. This is normal for this, and this is a major inter-capital highway, this one. Would be probably the fifth or sixth busiest highway in the nation. And these are typical traffic levels on it. And on the roads that I often ply my trade, it's this is rush hour. We'd never get anything like this. I'd see a vehicle once every hour or two, sometimes. Although I do venture into the cities, because I cart off farm into the cities, and then I cart from the cities back onto the farms. I take the fertiliser and whatever out in the farms, and the grain and whatever from farm into the ports and into the flour mills and places like that. You'll see a real old. These are largely disused now, or only used by smaller concerns, but a lot of them were built in the pre-war years and immediately after the war. You'll see up here in a little bit on the right-hand side some concrete silos. People overseas call them grain bins. Concrete storage. Probably see it there now, I think, on the right. They were all owned once upon a time by a mob called Grain Corp. And they had them everywhere. But now they tend to consolidate them down into mega sites instead of just having sites like that with 4 or 5 silos and a shed and maybe a few bunkers. They'll have sites where they take 1 million tonnes or more of grain at a time. And they've basically either sold those off or leased them out to smaller concerns. And they still do take grain in there, but yeah, they're not put it this way, their heyday is long gone. Anyway, I'll be dawdling along here for a good while yet, so if you managed to get this far into the video, congratulations. You don't win a prize, but congratulations anyway for having the patience. Thank you very much. See you later. Hooroo. I've got to turn the mic off yet.